Hello, everybody. So, we are talking today about mind mastery and reprogram old patterns inside of us. So, Elitom Alamin is here with me, and I'm Gal Steiner. So, when we're talking about mind mastery, what is it for you?
Mind mastery, in my definition and how people are using it today, is dealing with self-empowerment, self-actualization. And that's why a motivational speaker, they pull so many people, because it's empowering people, and that's what people look for, some type of empowerment in their life. So when you're dealing with mind mastery, it's not bringing it far-fetched. Whenever you can get an idea or some type of education that can better your life, you just earn some type of empowerment. And that's what we look for as human beings, to better our lives.
That's nice. So what's if we want to empower ourselves, what lowers our power?
Our old thought patterns.
Okay.
So this is what we're talking about: mind mastery and changing your thought patterns and reprogramming yourself. Because usually when a speaker gets done with you, the motivational speaker, you're pumped up. They're telling you can earn a better income, or we all heard it. You can really lose weight and get your health together. You really come out of there pumped up. But then when you get back into your life and your so-called reality kicks in, now it becomes a struggle, because the last pattern that you've been living into makes it difficult. So we're fighting against ourselves to bring on a new idea, but to get rid of the old idea that goes through all the cells of our body. This is the energy that's coming off of us that's creating our reality. So this is real deep, or really reprogramming ourselves.
And we're doing it all the time.
All the time.
It's not something like unique to special people. Like, everybody reprogram themselves all the time. That's change. That's always changing. So how can we make it easier?
And to make it easier, first step is know that this is taking place. That's the first method of understanding. Or how a person says on the road of spirituality, when you realize you're ignorant. Now that's not putting yourself down, but you're looking at your weaknesses, because it could be a weakness. You want to change, you want to evolve, but your own self seems like it's fighting against you. And it's really not trying to fight against you. It's just trying to hold the pattern that you gave it before. That's all it's helping you. That's what it thinks. But you want to move on. So now when you understand this is taking place, you can come back and work with yourself more gradually to change that new pattern, because your body is user-friendly on changing itself.
Okay,
it's all for it.
I really like what you're saying. Like, let's break it for pieces, because that's what makes really change happening. Like, if you go to a theoretical thing and get into it, right?
Right.
So we have our mind, our ego, inner voices, all the same.
All
right?
the same.
And we have inner voice or an ego or a mind that telling us, no, you should eat like this and this and this, or you can do it. How do you approach these inner voices, your mind, your ego, to at that moment that it happens?
Well, the person that talks to you the most in your life is yourself. We all got these voices going in our head, and we're talking to ourselves all the time. And now I know some people say, well, you ain't married to the person I'm married to. That's just a joke. But this voice that's going on in our head is basically a recording from our past, the way we're thinking, and it's trying to make decisions based on our 5 senses on how it's been trained and programmed. So now you get this new information, this new knowledge, and you want to now approach it and go into it, but you got this old pattern, depending on what you want to go into, that's basically saying, okay, I hear it too, it sounds good, but this is where we're supposed to be. So that's kind of like that self-sabotage effect that's taking place. There was a guy back in the 1800s wrote that a person's not fulfilling their life, I'm just saying it verbatim, is that that person is listening to other people tell him what he could do or what he cannot do. And 9 times out of 10, we go to the negative part of us to put ourselves down due to the society we live in. And all of that does play a big part. So this isn't easier said than done either. Even though we're talking, we'll give a method on how to deal with it. You have to constantly, now that's that word consistent we was working on earlier. You have to consistently work with that new thought, that new idea, a new pattern, for it to gradually move away that old pattern. It's sort of like if you started to run, for instance. I remember my son brought this up. He loves running. But when he first got into it, okay, he ran a couple of days, 1 week when he first started. But in his mind, I'm going to run every day. But he did the 2 days. Few weeks went past and he ran again, this time a lot more, and then he got out of that pattern. But he was real good at teaching this now, because he's saying that that old overwhelming program that was in him saying, oh, it's better to go play Xbox. Right, forget this running, where it's going to lead us.
And he acknowledged it.
And he acknowledged it. So when he kept that thought in his mind that, no, I still want to run. And that's what you got to do. You got to kind of keep bringing that program back. And then when he got back into running more and more, then it started to weave out the old plan of the Xbox. And he see all the weight losing and, improving. And then pretty soon what really pumps you up is when somebody say, oh, you look different. You changed. You really looking good. And you know it's from the new pattern you're into of running. So now you can start teaching other people about what you had to go through. And that's what we do. When you see somebody accomplish something and they tell you their story of what they went through, 9 times out of 10 it was like how they slowly came into it. Old patterns or old events faded away for the new one to start coming in. Everybody got this journey, we call it. So even when we teach about different food journeys, and me, I'll be telling about the breatharian journey and letting people it's not far-fetched. It's not an overnight thing. That old pattern still was here, and you just stick with it consistently, repeatedly, to bring in that new pattern, and it will. Your will is the strongest thing you have access to.
Amazing. So I'm hearing here 3 very, very important things. Like, first of all, bring a new program. Right? Bring a new program. Know your program and bring a new one that you want. Second of all, be consistent with the new program.
Right.
And that's very, very important.
Very
important. Don't give up. And what you're saying here that's very, very important as well, in my opinion, is be compassionate to the old program. Like, know your program.
Right.
Be consistent with another one. But be compassionate that's your program right now. It's okay.
It's okay.
You're not running every day. You're liking
right.
to eat pizza and play Xbox.
Right.
That's okay. Gradually, when you bring the consistent new program, it will change.
Exactly.
Don't push it. Don't fight it.
Exactly.
Right?
And since we got these voices in our head and you're always talking to yourself, it's sort of like now you are talking to a second person, in the beginning stages. So you can make deals with yourself. In other words, okay, I want to fast for 3 days, but now you start telling the rest of your being, but we're going to have our favorite strawberry ice cream at that one place that we always have it at. You'd be surprised how your body, now there's this new reward that just took place. Yeah, let's do this 3 days and get it over with because that's what we're going to do. You understand?
Yeah. Do you think it's good for you to act like this?
Oh, absolutely.
It helps you.
Because if you don't give the body some incentive or the rest of your being, it is asking you questions, what are you doing? We're going to stay here. What you're doing is you're putting too much stress on your body and on your mind. And that's why as soon as people do try to lose weight, try to go on a fast, anything, trying to accomplish something, they go back to their old patterns real fast because this feels comfortable. You didn't give it an idea or an incentive what you're really trying to accomplish.
That's amazing what you're saying. You're saying, correct me if I'm wrong, that you have inside of you at least two voices right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you're doing a relationship between them.
A relationship.
Right? So I'm with you with the old program. I'm giving something new.
Right.
Be with me.
Mm-hmm.
Come be with me. Full energy. Be with me. Don't fight me, and I'll be with you. I'm not saying don't eat your ice cream. Don't do like this. Just like work together.
Absolutely.
And when you look at yourself as not only one, but voices that have a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
you can do whatever you want.
And not only on that aspect, I run into people all the time in a holistic lifestyle and stuff like this, spiritual lifestyles, and they talk about their family. My family just don't understand these problems that's going on, and I come to a family get together. And I said, but it's your problem. It's not theirs. You was in the same program once before that they were in, and then you jumped out of it. That's cool. But when you come back to them, you're trying to put your program on everybody else, and that's where the problem is. You remember where they're at. You have a lot better effect if you can. Okay, you're coming to this gathering. Find a place where you can compromise, where you still can build those relationships, and you will catch people even more without even bringing up this big gap that y'all now are in. They appreciate you and they love you. That's why they're bringing things up. And when people get that idea, that usually builds that old family relationship, because you're finding out it was your fault. You grabbed a frequency when you left everybody so fast. It wasn't that they're stupid or nothing like that or can't see. It was just too fast for them. And now, so that'll keep you from being alone, being unhappy. So that's also dealing on the external levels of old families or friends. Those people love you and you can keep them, but understand where it's at. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but internally, that's what's taking place on the beginning stages of yourself, so you got to recognize it. Being easy with yourself. Finding a middle road or where to progress, even though you have that end goal. And you'll find out it will become even faster. So even on breatharianism, I tell people, if you can't even go through without eating food one day and act normal, master one day before you even do any more.
Okay, that's amazing. What you're saying about, first of all, you always coming back for be consistent in your path, in your pace, like
Right.
your rhythm. And what you're talking about, family, I'm sure everyone in a spiritual way
Everybody
knows it. Like you're going in a spiritual way, you have your path and you have your time, and suddenly your family and old friends look like they're an enemy or they're like stopping you or something like that.
Right.
And you're saying come back and see your old program. Be compassionate, and what you do, like you have any, like I'm going tomorrow to my family, how should I act with them?
Right. Well, act with your new you, of course, because that's what they see. They understand you living your life and stuff. But in other words, what I'm trying to say is, if there's something that benefited you, you don't have to expect them to do that also to still love them. That's just the old program that was in. You're just glad you grabbed it. And that will usually capture people even more, because I hear these testimonies come all the time. Even when we deal with health now, dealing with the food and stuff like this, everybody kind of knows that. So you don't have to hit them on their head and say, don't eat meat at all. They know to start cutting back, and you can help them with that agenda. You understand?
Yeah.
So it makes it wonderful, and it builds back that bridge and gap, and then you can see where you can benefit not only your family but your old communities again, instead of being so distant.
Amazing.
That's powerful.
It is.
So again, not only it happens externally on the relationships we're dealing with, in the beginning on our own personal changes, that's how you have to work with yourself. We all do. And if you want to make a lot of improvements, you don't have to get stuck there. One thing I see dealing with diet changes, there be a person, okay, you became a vegan and you've seen all these changes take place. You're healthier, you're this and that. But a person will get stuck there. Other health problems will arise. Now, why did that take place? Because your body is saying, okay, thank you. We left the last program and we came to this one. But now there's other programs where you can move into and shift into. We're ready now. That's why these other problems that's taking place. So sometimes you could get stuck in a program too long dealing with your development, because we're all under spiritual development. Wow.
So you're saying that that's what I'm hearing, that people that have your old program are helping you in your path. They remind you your old program and help you in your way, right? Like, and if you see it in your family, in your friends, like if you go vegan and you go to a place that, and there's a lot of vegan activists that they're like, they're fighting people that eat meat.
Right.
And like, if you will see them as an old program inside of you, right? You can see where they're at and not forcing them to change.
Exactly. And I'm going to show you some key points that you can bring forth too. It's sort of like I went to a family get-together once upon a time. Everybody's bringing a dish. Now, mind you, I'm on the breatharian levels. Cool, but I want to go see my family. So what I did was made that seitan or gluten. That you can make it taste like meat.
Yeah.
So I made some shish kebabs with it, and I brought that to the party. Barbecued it, and I waited till for them to eat it, and I also took pictures when I was making it. Now this is what you're eating. We're eating flour. This tastes like such and such. They were amazed. So what you did was just help liven up the party for number one, because it was like, man, I can't believe this tastes so good. It tastes like pork or beef or whatever, and I'm eating this. And you introduce something new that you can eat a whole nother diet without actually leaving the taste you think that you have to leave that alone altogether. There's an alternative to it. So you also could be a better teacher when you understand this, communicating with people. Whether they do it or not, you have empowered them that this exists. So it's great when you learn this. So even when I got into live and raw foods, people think, okay, I'm going to go eat fruits and vegetables and eat salads. Okay, now let's be real, that's boring. How long are you going to keep doing that? So that's why I learned how to make pizzas without cooking them, breads without cooking them. Now, mind you, I was doing this something like 15 years ago. Now they got a whole treasury of recipes on the internet and everything else. Everything is user-friendly. So you can have a great time even going live and raw. And I even tell people going into that, just pick a weekend when I'm going to have a live or raw weekend and make something real special I never tasted. Your body will look forward to that. So again, you're making this compromise, and when the body loves it, we'll look forward to the next weekend. Even though you're not eating live or raw for the rest of the week, but you'll find out that if the body's happy, it will want to move on its own to see what's going to happen next, because we're having fun. So there we go, breaking old patterns. But if you don't have something enjoyable to go to because it's going to make you healthy, then that would take less, the stress off the body and the mind, and your spiritual walk or energetic walk, whatever you want to call it, will be a lot easier and quicker.
Very nice. Very nice.
Absolutely.
Let's see if anyone here have a question. Okay, here, Martin have a question. Wait a second. I have a question. Does it make sense to speak with people that doesn't understand these things or not? Because it can just exactly lower our vibration, and then it takes a lot of effort to take it back.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, it's just like myself. You always meet people where they're at. We do that anyway by our nature. You don't have to bring a person into your knowledge. If you're a musician and everybody else don't know music, there's plenty of other things as we as humans could talk about. Now, one thing that always get people is the definitions on how you define things. In other words, let's just talk about the religion people, for instance. I understand the Christian talk and the words that they're used. I understand the words that the Muslims use, and I understand that the words that the Jews use. You know, that's the 3 different main religions on the planet. When you understand where they're coming from, you know, for me, I know they're talking the same thing, it's just the definitions that they're using. Once we pick up that vibe on a definition, boom, got them. Because everybody, in other words, we could talk about some form of diet. You know, with the Jews, I could talk to Sabbath. Oh yeah, leaving food alone. We'd go from there. I was just in Egypt where the Muslims was doing Ramadan. And once we got into that, we started talking about that, the health benefits. So that opened up a whole nother door when I started talking about that. And then dealing with the Christians, now more of them catching on, dealing with the praying over the food, eating things that's healthy for you and your family. So your vibration don't have to be lowered when you're forcing it on a vibration. You're letting that energy go. Always just be your energy, but learn how to meet a person where they're at, which is a great skill to have. You'll get better at it when you start practicing on that level. So your vibration, and if you feel your vibration getting drained, okay, you have to leave then. That will take place also. But you will get better at this because it's just a people thing in our own development on how to really meet people where they're at. You just start from there.
Okay, so it's good, for, in your opinion, to talk with people even you know they're in low vibration than you.
Absolutely.
It's like we talked before, right?
Because check this out. We are also under a collective consciousness. Not only you have your own, we're collective. So even on your own, no matter how enlightened, how much knowledge you think you have, there's going to be a roof there because it has to keep up also with the collective consciousness. So we're kind of dumbing ourselves. So now this pumps you up even more. Let me go and pick up the lower consciousness, leave no one behind, because every consciousness that does get changed just a little to raise the whole frequency will open a door for you to grow even more. You're always helping yourself. So that's the great reward by going back to the lower consciousness, picking it up. That's how it works. It don't work no other way. You're not going to be way over here, no man's an island, and everybody else over here. You're going to be miserable again and just blaming everybody. But a roof on your own development. I run into that all the time.
You're helping them to, you're building a bridge.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Because when the information came to us, or wherever we think we are so far at, you didn't receive everything all at once. Absolutely not. It was a slow process, gradual. You didn't see it at first. Oh, and then you rotated into different methods and different being consistent, and you needed it at that time in your life. So that's what it's all about. This growth goes for not just you, but for everybody. Everybody has the same mechanism. And you can honor it when a consciousness is not able to move out of a situation. Again, that's not your problem. That's just the light itself of how creation is.
When you are reprogramming yourself with compassion, like we talked in the beginning,
yes,
you can do the same thing with other people.
With other people.
Like it's the same thing. They help you to see yourself and
absolutely
yourself.
Because how Spirit moved us into it with love, because even in times you fell, Spirit as age say, oh, I'm going to leave you alone. You ain't no good. Right. It didn't do that at all. I already know you. So now this is your chance, this makes sense to you, to act as the manifestation of that Spirit that picked you up, to now pick somebody else up. When they do go back and fall or look at it, just understand that what's going to take place because that's what you went through. But you have the same passion now to act out in a manifestation way to pick up other people.
Amazing. And you help yourself, you help others, and it's continuing. They can help
absolutely.
Others, and the vibration is up.
That's how it is.
Like I divide it to 4. Tell me what you think about it. We talked about it before also. Like I understand something, then I believe it's true, and I can live like this.
Right.
Then I experience it, and experiencing it helps me to know it and live life like it. You're a vegetarian. You don't think about it. You don't believe it's true. You just live like this.
Just live.
That's how. You change your lifestyle. That is your lifestyle.
Exactly.
So meeting old programs outside of you is like experiencing itself. You're experiencing it and helps you to know it and live it.
Exactly.
So,
and even now, there's times I don't know. It's that reminder of how far I came, because there was a time when I woke up in the morning, oh, breakfast. And I got in my mind, I'm going to have the eggs, going to have them over easy, going to have the bacon. I'm just bringing back this old program. That's a breakfast, a good breakfast. Now where I'm at from that old program, I'm actually waking up not even thinking about that. But that's
why should they break the fast?
But there was a long road. That's why we call these journeys, for that to take place. That's amazing. And sometimes you'll wake up and have that realization, wow, that's where I came from. So you remember it. Boom. And then other things will take place in your life, any level you go to. And like the girl said last night, she said, as I was teaching, she said it's sort of like, how did she use that word? Bringing up a program, like this is how it has to be. She said I was talking religious. And no, I said I was just giving instructions. And that just means saying, if one person, they're just giving their way of how they made it out of something, why should they give you something different? This is what worked for me, it might work for you. That's all you're doing now. I'm giving you instructions that should be able to help you, because we're working with the same equipment. So I'm not trying to put you in a box or nothing on the way to think, but I know these instructions work because I did it.
How I get it from you, it's like you're helping me as a teacher to build this inner voice inside of me that speaks this truth that you have, this lifestyle.
Right.
And then I can play with it inside of me, right? And
absolutely.
reprogramming myself.
Because everybody, like, we're good to say that everybody has the light in them and stuff like that. We say that, but it's really true. Everybody does have that connection with the light of consciousness. So it's there. You ain't got to beat nobody over the head. Soon as you speak truth, it recognizes it. Soon as you live truth, it feels it. So all you got to do is keep living and speaking your truth in a good way, not trying to hurt people with it, because you can get truth too and hurt people with it on how you're bringing it. So that could be a bad thing. Bringing it in a loving way, and that light will come on its way, and vice versa, where we need to keep developing will take place, because you know how it works now. You know it takes a consistency, a repetition. You know this.
Yeah.
You've been on the track now. And go at the time you're ready. When you're comfortable, I'm ready. And then just take it in increments so you can bring on a new skill.
Amazing. So it rises inside of me to question that we also a little bit talk about it, and want to be even more practical, even more like open it a little bit more. What should I be doing right now if I want to master my mind? Because a lot of time I saw in myself and in other people in the spiritual way that I need to master my mind.
Right.
Like it's like a fight. There's a voice in me. It's not good, and I need to fight it. Like, and what you're saying, what I'm hearing, if you want to master your mind, always it cannot be a fight. So how can I be a master in my mind?
Well, let's get the definitions of what this means. Now, we talked about mind mastery, and that's basically self-realization or empowerment. You're looking for some type of education, knowledge that's going to help you be a better person, better your situation. So that's the keys right there of mind mastery, or why do it.
Because when you're talking about the mind, you have to get knowledge, because mind working with knowledge.
Right, it needs some type of stimuli. Or what should it do? It's a piece of equipment. Okay. You're not your mind, but you're using it. It's a vehicle.
That's important what you're saying. You're not your mind. Like that's a big step. Remember that you are not your mind.
You're not your mind at all.
So you can master it. Okay.
Those are just energies coming through. So now we got that part. But now let's go into programming. What is a program? Now I got a definition here. It's a planned series of future events, items, or performances. This is real key. It's already made a plan. That program in you has a plan on how the future is going to be, the future events is going to be. That's why when I tell people they're under predetermination, no, I'm not, I got choice. That program in you is already in its mind, have what tomorrow going to be, have what next week's going to be. It's not evil. It's just saying that this is what was given to me by you for whatever reason. And this is what I'll create for you so you can have your creation.
Amazing. That's an inner voice inside of you. That's working with, that's how I see the world. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
So
that's the program I got. And then it says, let's just say it's coded instructions for the automatic performance of a particular task. The automatic performance. So things will automatically go in place from the program that's coming off of you. So that's why when you do try to change, you realize you might not like it. Like I've seen some people say, as soon as I try to quit smoking cigarettes, all of a sudden people want to offer me cigarettes. Or I find a pack of cigarettes. And I tell people on a breatharian journey, I used to love Frito corn chips. We were driving a car one day and I was telling people how I conquered the corn chips. And I looked on the side of us and there was a semi truck driving. And they had Frito corn chips on the truck. We just all busted out laughing. I said, oh my gosh, my mind is trying to bring it back. But yeah, your mind is so powerful, it started bringing back that old pattern to you because it's saying, don't you still want to create this reality? So that's what you got to understand.
And he's not fighting you. He's not wanting you to get, you cannot do it, you will fail. It just, that's the program, just giving you what you want.
Right. And it's on automatic, like how we just read that definition, and it's creating future events so you can have that experience.
So in that experience, what do you do? Life brings you cigarettes. Life brings you the things that you love the most. Because it gets you also like hunger and passion. And if you say, no, that's not what we're doing, it's getting sad, right? And frustrated. So what?
Now, depending on what your condition is, you might be at a point where it is that no altogether. But that deals from person to person. Where it's an emergency now. Okay, you got to dry out and stop it. It went too far. Now, but if you have room and space to play with yourself, like I know people who, there's a difference between a person who goes cold turkey, not smoking cigarettes, that's good. And I've also known people who gradually backed off. I'm only going to have 3 cigarettes a day. You know, broke it down to 1 pack a week and stuff like that and did pretty good too. So that also goes from person to person on how entwined you are in that old habit you want to break and how life-threatening it is to you.
So you're saying here, know yourself.
Know
your
yourself.
program. Don't fight that. No. Like, if your program needs cigarettes and you don't know, you don't have the bridge yet to do cold turkey, know your program.
Because it could be very hard trying to go cold turkey dealing with your situation. So know your program.
Yeah.
Even with breatharianism, I was teaching where I said if you have some foods in you that you still love, know your program, because if you try to leave it behind, that other voice inside you're going to say, you know we love this. What are we doing? Right. And then people will fall into it and put themselves down like they're a loser. And you shouldn't have to go through that at all. Know your program. Enjoy that substance, back up on it. And then once it gets happy, it's ready for the new idea.
Is it right to say that if the new program that you are bringing to your life are making your old program feeling sad and frustrated, that's not the new program that you want? Like I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I want a new program. Like you're talking to me and you're saying you can do whatever you want. I'm bringing you something else in your own path. Everything is good. That's the new program that I want.
Right.
That's why my old program are loving you.
Right.
And they'll give me more because you see me and you give me in compassion a new way, not forcing.
Absolutely.
So if you see, that's what I get. If you see that the new program that you brought into your life are making your old program not feeling good, that's not the new program that you want.
Right, that's not what you want. It don't fit your life at all. I'm glad you brought that up, because even when I bring forth living on prana, when I get to talking and seeing where does it fit into your life, why do you want to do it? What's going on? Would it really fit at this time? Or how would you place it within your lifestyle? Is it necessary? All those questions is important. And some people will find out, yeah, not eating all the way won't be good right now. I'll be sad because it won't fit. You got your children, especially when they're growing up and different things you might be into. You really love to do this with friends. So you still can take the pranic idea. You'll probably eat once every 3 days and stuff like that, which is still living on prana. However, to go all the way might not be for you now, but you have time for it. When that time comes and your life straightens out for it, this would be the good time for it. Right, and then everything should go smoothly. But if you bring on a new program and it don't fit, and you're happy, everybody around you is mad, that was the wrong program to bring in.
What I hear from you that you're saying is what you are offering is a program that doesn't say stop eating,
right,
but living more on prana.
Exactly.
And fit it however it fits your programming. But I'm bringing more prana in your life.
In your life. More,
right.
So your life could be better, because the foundation of all these programs, especially when you live in more holistically, is health. Health is the foundation of our life.
Amazing.
If your health goes, and like when I talk to younger people, think about your health and maintain it. And they, I got it. You can do all types of things, but the health is going to determine is you're going to have a happy life or a terrible life.
Health is like the measure of how much you bring prana to your life and how much you stop it, right?
Right.
Like,
work, because everything's energy. How you're working with energies in a nutshell.
That's so important. Like I'm beside you for a few days, and that's the most important thing that I'm getting. It all the time. Bring it back. Like everything is energy. That's all. Everything is energy. It's not about food. It's not about this. Everything is energy.
And when I use that term health, stop thinking even about the physical body. It's everything. Your relationships, how you meet people, how you respond, your workplace, things that you into that you're trying to love. That's all health. And it's all energetic. Each and every one of them. Wow.
So it's not about food. It's how prana is moving inside of you. It's not about sex, but how the prana, that sexual energy, flows inside of you.
Flows through you.
And if you want to be fulfillment in your life, and if you want abundance, just let the energy flow.
Right.
And not stuck. That's all. You're always coming back to it.
And it's not really your increase in energy, because energy does not increase or decrease. It's always the same. You're balancing it out.
Amazing.
The more you balance these energies out in your life, that's what we use the term, you're using more prana. You're living on more prana. And then that's where you can become more food free. That's the concept. That other way, I'm going to stop eating this time I'm putting tape on my mouth. But you got other work to do on balancing out your life. Your workplace, some relationships are still tore up. That's where you're going to get the light from.
That's amazing what you're saying. It's like if you will force it with a new program, your old program will stop you.
Will stop you. Say, no, this is bad.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Because after you stop starving yourself, we got to still go deal with our next door neighbor. You still got to deal with your spouse. Right. That's what it's telling you.
That's amazing.
And that's living on prana. That's breatharianism. Do you understand this?
That's amazing what you're saying.
Wow.
That's a reason that people also lose weight. Because they're starving themselves.
Starving themselves.
Instead of bringing more prana.
Right.
Because
the prana that's going through us and around us is saying, okay, you're dealing with the food, but there's blockages in you that's coming from other places. It ain't got nothing to do with the food. If you open up those, that's where you will feel this other energy come to you.
And that's coming back again. That's the mind mastery. Know your program and the new program that you want.
Right.
And consistently move energy. Again, like we talked a few days ago, and you're talking about it all the time. Meditate and let them energy flows. That's all.
Now we got the physical body, emotional body, and mental body. We break them into three so we can kind of talk about them, but they're all one. In other words, your physical body is an extension of your mind. period. It is your mind. I'm looking at your mind. That's why there's experts out there that can look at your eyes and see if your colon is clogged up, urology. They can look at the way you're walking and see what's happening with you, that you're in pain. Right, if you're in pain, it's messing with your physical thoughts. Mm-hmm. Of course, you're not meditating like that or focusing like that. So yes, we can read each other's mind by reading each other's body.
By looking at you.
It's telling a story. We can tell by the way you talk, the way you think. So when a man speaketh, so is he. It's just a matter of time. You can't suppress it.
Amazing.
That's your mind. So when you're dealing with breatharianism, you're dealing with mind mastery, the totality of your mind. So to create this creation, you're living in energy. You just want to let it flow more through you, and it will once things balance out.
Okay, that's amazing. I'll look if we have another question. We're really close to finish here. Let's see. Neri Baron say, lifestyle is coping mechanism. What about different life conditions that translate into different truth?
Exactly. Well, that's basically him saying again, like when I meet people, I talk on the level that they're on. So in other words, I ain't got to go talking food free to somebody I know I'm not there. I just talk just a little level of that they could comprehend. And they could better them.
And then it's like you talked before about the Judaism and Muslims and
right.
this, like,
and you could catch a person where they're at. So what he's talking about too is probably lifestyle and the atmosphere you living in not compatible.
Yeah,
I think that's what I'm getting from it.
That's a little bit what I got. Like someone will say it's not good to fast. Someone will say that's good to fast. Someone will say do a lot of sex. Someone will say don't do sex. Like.
Oh, now this is a deep age we're in too. Even though it's an age of information, there's so much out there. I was just talking to a guy who's into, what's that called, with the drinking your urine. Okay, I understand the power of that. And not just bringing that up to other things dealing with therapies. However, that's not for everybody or what I have to practice at all. Because I understand it's dealing with the light, my center. But now, if you're rotating to a certain type of lifestyle, a certain type of truth, and it's benefiting you, that's the way to go. You're the poster child for that. Mm-hmm. Because there's different classrooms of thought that exist that will bring forth health to a person. Now, like I was saying earlier, once you do grab a classroom, you ain't got to stay there forever. That's the thing about it. You can trap yourself in a lifestyle, work before, but there's room for you to now change. And a lot of people get stuck, how we say, in the cube of their own thought, and there's another type of a battle taking place.
And that means that you have blockages of energy,
mm-hmm.
right? Because when the energy flows, you
mm-hmm.
always see out of the box, and like
right, absolutely.
You really showed it to me with the Qigong. Seriously, the Qigong is crazy. Like I'm doing it for a few days, and I really see how it works physically, mentally, and emotionally
mm-hmm.
on me.
Absolutely.
Like when you free the blockages, your mind is going and he's free. You free your mind.
And the powerful thing about when we do these Qigongs is we're not putting no effort in. The body's automatically coordinating with energy. This is why you're an energy being. Qigong just means energy exercise. And just by putting your body in certain positions and relaxing and allowing it to take place, blockages start breaking up. That shows that that's the constitution of the law that you're already under.
And when you do it, and your body, and your ego, and your mind see the results of it,
mm-hmm.
you want more.
You want more.
And then you go consistent.
So you're always going to have desire dealing with ego. It's just before your desire was placed in the pleasures of delight of the lower frequency that cause forth pain and suffering over a period of time. But once you see this new desire, like you said, you want more of that
mm-hmm.
to see where it goes. That's the new desire, wanting more of the light.
Amazing.
You're making a transition again from an old pattern to a new pattern. Just take it easy.
That's amazing. Seriously. So Neri said, yes, you related to that. Thank you. Last question, and before we go, Sivan said, when you practice prana, vegetarian, and not nourish the body with food from outside, does the body nourish only from prana energy, or also from sources from the body that dissolve from the body itself, like when you do water fast?
Okay, we use the word prana, and of course we use the word life force, the energy of it, but there's more that's taking place. My second book is called Human Photosynthesis. Now, we understand that plants practice photosynthesis. Photo means light, but synthesis means the combining of things. So you got all these different chemicals in your body, but a chemical by itself isn't going to do much. When it combines with another chemical and makes something else that's nutritious for the body, that's what we want. So it's the combination of these things to take place. So even when we talk about breathing, that's important. Sunlight, that's important. The moonlight frequency. All these different frequencies is coming from different sources. We could go on. The frequencies from the earth. We call it grounding and stuff like that. You're getting all these different frequencies, but when they're combined in the organism, they're coming out making chemicals on what it needs. So this is what in ancient times they call alchemy.
That's the electricity and the
chemicals. So when you meditate, that's on an electrical level. That's dealing with your neural system. And that's not far-fetched on what I'm saying, because we got equipment now that could show you just by you moving your hand, there was a electrical signal impulse that actually moved it. The same electricity that charge your cell phone is charging your body. You're working with it. Wow, that's far-fetched, ain't it? No, it's not. So you're working with electricity, but your endocrine system, and that's just a gland or anything in your body that gives off hormones, give off chemicals. You're constantly giving off chemicals. You don't know what's taking place. But when you start allowing this electricity to come in, and it works hand in hand with your chemical system. This is amazing. And then your body intelligence knows what it needs and what it should make. That's why I tell people the foundation of living on prana or breatharianism, start meditating. Don't worry about the mind and I got to do all these techniques like he was saying about the qigong. The electrical system works hand in hand with the chemical system in our body. They just have two different methods. One is on the chemical level, one is on the electrical level, but they're producing some fascinating things inside of us where we don't need external foods at all.
Amazing. Ray Maor say that when you do the process of vegetarian, it's like a car going to the garage. You used to move with gas, now you can move with gas and solar or electricity. So you can go like this and this. And the more you go with solar, you less need the gas.
Exactly.
So, and what you're saying with the solar is meditate and,
right.
and ground and go to nature. Work with the nature.
Right.
So slowly, you will be nourished more from prana and less from physical things.
You're changing your equipment. See, on one level, you're like a hybrid. Of course, you can still go off of fossil fuels if you want to. And there's cars out there that got the fossil fuels and plus got the electricity hooked up to it. I want to do this today. You can run that way if you want to. Or you could just say, okay, I know I got this fossil fuel equipment, but it's a lot cheaper, better for me, and it's better for the vehicle if I start using more solar energy, if I start using more electricity. You can use all types of methods, because keep in mind, even vegetarianism is new to the West. 50 years, give or take, 60, and that was a battle bringing it through. Now everywhere you go, even McDonald's is making a sandwich
vegan.
That's vegan. All right.
It's important to say, you told it to me a few days ago, it's really important to say that in the beginning of a process, your body will eat itself and move the toxins.
Right.
Right?
It's going through a healing process.
It's going to be emotional healing. It can get hurt. And physical, your body will eat itself a little bit because he's taking rid of everything.
Exactly.
And slowly, the more you bring it, more prana in your time, it will go to the balanced weight and stop eating itself, but nourishing from prana.
Exactly. See, because people call me all the time. I've been doing this for 4 days, not eating. Where's the energy at? You haven't caught what I said. Not at all. You want to take your time. Your body's going to start healing itself. There's aches and pains probably taking place in you that you don't even notice there. That's why you'll start noticing a pain in your hip. Boy, when did that show up? It's been there. You were just so numb, you didn't feel it. Allow your body to heal itself. When it healed itself enough, you will feel it start pulling more of what it needs from the environment. Now, this is how you know you're living on prana. The weight will stagnate itself where you won't lose a whole lot no more. And also, you will have more energy. You will feel that more pranas flowing through the body. Bottom line. That's how you know.
No matter if you eat or do like this or whatever, you just get...
You'll feel it. Exactly. This is user-friendly. Keep that in mind. And of course, we got the 2 retreats coming up, and we'll do a lot more. But that's the whole idea, is to let people experience and work with this prana for yourself. And it will become very powerful in what could take place without you really not doing a whole lot. It's just an understanding.
And that's, you're having 3 days of retreat and 8 days. So you bring here, take it gradually. If your time is 3 days, go 3 days. If it's 8 days, go 8 days. And if it's 3 days and then 8 days, do like this. And it's important. It's important for me to say, I don't get any money from this. I'm just excited to help this knowledge and practice of this master that I'm lucky to be close to into Israeli people. So take advantage of it. Seriously.
Oh, absolutely. And the more you learn, believe me, you're like the teachers of the future.
Yeah.
The teachers now to teach more about living on prana.
Amazing. So we're finishing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I learned a lot, and I want to see it again so I can just get more of it. Sometimes you need to take this knowledge and bring it a little bit again and again until it's sunk in. I'm gonna write down. I put the event link so people that want to go to lecture. We have Sunday in Pele in Tel Aviv, and 2 days after in Pardes Chana. Next week, 3 days of water fasting, qigong, meditation, and all your teaching, a little bit of your teaching.
Yeah.
You can take it only in 3 days. And a week after it, it's going to be 8 days, all in the Jordan River. It's really, really cheap. Seriously, it's really, really cheap. And it's amazing teaching and amazing teacher. So, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.